Good day, guys, Austin, and in this one today, we're doing a bit of EMU-NATION, which means that we're going in depth into some emulation news, y'all. And then to be more specific, we're going to be looking at Dolphin. Now, Dolphin has some huge updates, something that hasn't been blown up the way it should have been blown up. So, me doing the kind of thing that I do, I'm going to blow it up. So, without further ado, let's blow up Dolphin. So this week in the Dolphin emulator, we've seen some huge breakthroughs. In fact, this is pretty much the most exciting thing that's happened in a long time. For me, it's actually properly bigger than the Dolphin 5.0 release. However, they've made it sound boring because they've named it Bluetooth Pass-Through. Now, why don't we think of good names for stuff like this, that the public could get on board and they could rejoice and sing from mountaintops throughout the world and, well, love what Bluetooth Pass-Through has done for us, because although it's got a boring name, it's actually bringing us quite a lot, especially in terms of control compatibility. Now, up to now, the Dolphin emulator has been limited to the fact that it's running through a PC. Of course, that's a good thing in most cases, especially in terms of all the added features, the extra power it brings, and improved resolution, and all kinds of stuff that I could waffle on for ages. However, it's been hampered with the controller compatibility when it comes to the WiiMotes. Now, of course, we can emulate the controllers all over Dolphin, and it's pretty good at what it does. You know, you can use your Xbox 360 controller, you can use your PS4 controller, your PS3 controller, you can pretty much use anything you want to throw at it, and 9 times out of 10, Dolphin will be able to be configured to control it across the board. However, certain games do require a WiiMote to work properly because that's what they were designed for. And of course, people want to utilize the WiiMotes because that made up 90% of how the Wii games were controlled. So taking that away from it means that, to be honest, you're getting all the graphics and the gameplay, but you're not really getting the experience that Nintendo were really wanting to achieve. So, enough of the waffles. So let's talk about what this is then. On an original Wii, you would have the Wii console itself, and that would talk directly to your Wiimote using a Bluetooth device. Now, of course, it was a direct conversation. However, on a PC using a Dolphin emulator, you're linking actually up to a Bluetooth dongle, which means that the computer itself, or should I say the operating system, is actually controlling that dongle, which means that that's got official control of it. Now, of course, the emulator can fire all kinds of stuff at it, but at the end of the day, it's always going to be the PC itself which controls that dongle, which in essence will be controlling the Wiimote because that's its master. Now, because of that hindrance, we had all kinds of issues to do with syncing up, certain operating systems limiting the compatibility of the Wiimotes, and Wiimotes just being incompatible altogether. Normally because they were a certain build, a build that you didn't know until you actually got home and plugged it in to find out. So when you were buying them, you didn't know if you were buying one that would work or one that wouldn't. Motion plus and countless other problems with sync, microphones, speaker, all kinds of stuff that was going on, which made problems with the Wiimote linking up to Dolphin, and it's one that's been hindered for some time. Now, of course, third parties came out and they made things such as the Dolphin bar, which made life a little bit easier, but you still had the same issues when it comes to the Wiimotes themselves, because Windows would always control what it could read and what it wanted to pick up. However, what this Bluetooth pass-through has done is override the drivers which control your Bluetooth dongle on your computer. So in essence, what it's doing is it's pretending to be an actual Bluetooth dongle from the Wii. So the computer is fooling itself into thinking that this is a direct conversation between the Dolphin emulator and the WiiMote itself. And that, although sounding simple in layman's terms and probably oversimplifying it in quite a lot of the way, and developers will be beating down my door now because I'm talking absolute codswallop when trying to simplify all this, That in essence is what this Bluetooth pass-through is doing. It's giving back control to the Dolphin emulator to control its WiiMotes. So it's no longer relying on your operating system or your computer to actually dictate what it wants. So if you was to turn off your emulator, it would be like turning off your Wii, so the controllers turn off themselves. If you was to sync up your controllers, it would behave exactly like you were syncing them up to your Wii. There's no longer them problematic sync issues. There's no longer them problematic controller issues. All controllers are now fully compatible. You see, beforehand, if they were third party, your computer itself couldn't pick those controllers up. Not because Dolphin didn't want to play with them, but because your computer was giving you problems and the way it handled those controllers. But now, because Dolphin is taking control, it knows what them controllers are. So third party controllers now work. Controllers that were legitimate, but Windows didn't know what to do with them, they're now compatible. Motion Plus controllers, compatible. Everything that you can think of that the WiiMote did do is now compatible, which is absolutely awesome. It's the final piece of the puzzle to get Dolphin working exactly like a Wii. In fact, it now is the last piece of the puzzle to make this probably one of the most ultimate emulators that have ever been invented. It not only plays the Wii and the GameCube games to the full potential, but it absolutely blows the originals out of the water. I mean, even to the standard where modern games can't even keep up with this emulation. And that is Bluetooth pass-through. Such an epic thing to bring to your computer, yet given such a boring grey name. Please, Dolphin makers, call this something like, I don't know, Bluetooth Thunderhawk or Laser Bluetooth things. I don't know, just call it something better than Bluetooth pass-through. Okay, with this good news comes some certain caveats and downsides. First off, the Dolphin bar is non-usable with this at the moment. Now, this is due to the fact that the drivers and everything that's used with the Dolphin bar is kind of closed shop. It's going to have to come from, more than likely, the Mayflash guys who make the Dolphin bar to actually enable this to come. But considering they're pretty much working on this all the time with flash updates and all that kind of stuff, I would suspect this would come sooner rather than later. Other than that then, people using this through their Bluetooth device, it will change the way your Bluetooth device actually behaves, because that's what it's doing in essence. So, if you use your Bluetooth device for anything else, such as, I don't know, PS3 controller support, or anything that uses Bluetooth functionality through your Bluetooth device, it will more than likely not work. However, considering that these Bluetooth dongles or devices can be bought for as little as a few bucks on eBay and Amazon and things like that, I'm sure you could get a throwaway device just to use for this kind of functionality. Something else the developers have come up with is the fact that save states will not work with this also. This is due to the fact that the save states will automatically save the controller configuration, and due to the Bluetooth, it just adds all kinds of issues and bugs which probably will interfere with the compatibility and the controller functionality when utilized. So it's not so much of a big thing, but if you're big into your save states, it probably won't come along with this. And last but not least, the fact that this cannot be used with emulated controllers and Bluetooth controllers in one. So if you're using an actual controller along with the emulated controller, because the emulator doesn't know what it's doing because it's coming from so many different directions in terms of the controller support, it's non-configurable. Who knows, all these could be ironed out in the near future, but for now, this is the kind of caveats that come along with this kind of functionality. And to be honest, across the board, it's pretty much expected because of what's involved to make this happen. That is it, and that is all the downsides, and that is what the Dolphin guys have been coming up with. Absolutely mind-boggling. And yet again, I tip my hat to all the developers over there, all the people that have been involved in this, and of course everybody that's in the scene, especially the Dolphin guys. Just think of cooler names in the future. Look forward though, because there's plenty more knowledge to come, because although in the last 7 days there's been pretty much of a lull, in the last couple of days, there has been a huge influx in gossip, releases, and all kinds of stuff pertaining to emulators, front ends, and all the stuff that I normally cover. So it looks like we're going to have a couple more EMU-NATIONs before the legitimate one that's supposed to be out on Saturday. Jesus, I've got my work cut out for me this week. However, it's the kind of stuff that I do for you. Also look forward because I've got the results from the competition. Links in the description down below for the competition details, how to do it and all that kind of stuff. There's a dedicated video. Also in the description down below is links for everything that I've talked about in this. Please go straight to the source and read up on it. Do not trust my muddled words and my waffling world because, well, not everybody's perfect, but I do try my best to at least highlight some of the stuff that you need to take on board. So, like I said, plenty more to come this week. Dolphin guides to do this one justice. Dolphin VR competitions, more MU movies, more everything. Oh, how do I even find the time of the day? Anyway, I've waffled enough. It's been a pleasure as always to see you guys. Please like, please subscribe, and please do all the things that people normally do in a world full of dolphin emulated mammals that give us controller support. But most of all, you have a good day. Laters!